Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Constance and today we'll discuss Surrealism in fashion, from the times of Schiaparelli to now. And please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fashion content. Let's go! First of all, what is Surrealism? Surrealism was an artistic and literary movement that started in Paris in 1924, inspired by the father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud. Artists wanted to explore the unconscious mind using automatic writing and drawing. Some of its most famous representatives were artists like Salvador Dalí, Joan Miró, René Magritte, and Meret Oppenheim. André Breton, leader of the movement, wrote the Surrealist Manifesto, which defined Surrealism as pure physic automatism, by which one proposes to express, either verbally, in writing, or by any other manner, the real functioning of thought. Dictation of thought in the absence of all control exercised by reason, outside of all aesthetic and moral preoccupation. Due to its popularity and interesting techniques, it soon caught the attention of couturiers and fashion photographers. The most popular designer, and the first one you think of when it comes to Surrealism, is Elsa Schiaparelli. She is known for her collaborations with Dalí, Oppenheim, Cocteau, and Man Ray, among others. With Oppenheim, for example, she covered in fur a metal bracelet for its winter 1937 collection, which later inspired Meret to create this work of art. She also transposed some drawings by Jean Cocteau into different garments. But her most famous collaborations were with Salvador Dalí. Together they created the shoe hat for one of her winter haute couture collections, the skeleton dress inspired by the drawing that Salvador gave to Elsa, representing a female skeleton, and the lobster dress worn by Wallis Simpson. Nowadays, Daniel Roseberry, the creative director of the Maison, is doing extraordinary work at keeping Elsa's heritage and her passion for Surrealism season after season. However, Schiaparelli is not the only brand that includes this artistic moment in its designs. Thom Brown, for example, is known for integrating surreal details into his collections and shows. I'm sure you all recall the Spring 2018 women's wear collection. The sea was the main theme. There were dresses with tulle mermaid-like tails, tweed coats decorated with shells, a skeleton dress a la Thom Brown, and this kind of puffy, not at all common dresses. And it ended with one of the models taking out her unicorn for a walk. Jonathan Anderson is another designer who loves Surrealism. For Loewe's Fall 2022, for example, he showed car-shaped figures trapped at the bottom of some dresses and coats, lip bustiers and balloons stuck in gowns and shoes. On the runway there were giant leather pumpkins created by the artist Anthea Hamilton. For Spring 2023 instead, he combined anthurium flowers molded into strapped dresses and sandals, with pixelated hoodies and trousers that looked straight out of Minecraft. Maison Dior presented its haute couture collection for Fall 2020 in a film broadcast on its digital channels. Maria Grazia Curie drew inspiration from female surrealists like Leonora Carrington, Dorothea Tanning, and Dora Maar, to name a few. We could see it in the designs, the color palette, and the film itself. The pieces were presented on miniature mannequins at first, and then in real-life size. Now, I don't know about you, but I love this dream-like presentation that tells a story and makes us dream. Virgil Abloh instead paid homage to Magritte in Louis Vuitton Men's Fall 2020, with blue skies and white clouds on slim suits and tracksuits, which, by the way, was the first time we saw suits by Virgil. And of course, it was reflected in the setting too. Back in the 90s, Thierry Mugler presented a couture collection inspired by insects. The models walked the runway in black sunglasses, headpieces with antennas, and sequin siren dresses. To close the show, one of his most famous designs, a black dress with colorful butterfly wings on the back. Butterflies have been a recurring theme in surreal fashion, from Lamban's appliques and sweaters by Albert Ebas to McQueen's beautiful dresses and headpieces referencing some of Dalí's paintings. Iris van Herpen instead is known for her 3D printed designs inspired by nature, art, science, architecture, and dance. She merges pioneering techniques and luxurious materials to create breathtakingly beautiful surreal pieces. The atelier is based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, where new techniques are born and cultivated. We can see her collections biannually at the Paris Haute Couture Week. Jeremy Scott has designed many playful kitsch collections with surreal pieces for Moschino. For the fall of 2022, for example, inspired by the bedroom in the film by Stanley Kubrick, A Space Odyssey, he designed dresses, tops, and coats with details of furniture and homeware, like candles, clocks, rugs, paintings, and more. He also updated the diner's suit with cluttery. For autumn-winter 2023 instead, he chose a more subtle approach, paying a little homage to Dalí's painting The Persistence of Memory, on skirt, suits, and knit dresses with wavy hems that looked as if they were melting, just as the clocks in the painting. He combined this with a punk movement which was highly predominant. Meret was a surrealist photographer who collaborated with designers like Schiaparelli, Chanel, Lanvin, and more. Nowadays, he is still relevant since many designers are inspired by his photographs, especially the ones with eyes and hands. Jean-Charles de Castelbajac made a whole collection around Meret's work for his fall 2011. Comme des Garçons used this inspiration to make tops with hands for its fall 2007. And it's a motif that we can see in other brands too, like Diane von Furstenberg for fall 2012, along with eye motifs. Or in this top by Margiela for spring 2001. Margiela is into surrealism as a designer and as an artist. For spring 2009, he used wigs to make outerwear, and we know that he loves to play with the anonymity of himself and the models, which is why sometimes we see their faces covered with all kinds of masks. My guess is that he could have taken the inspiration from this Dalí's painting. What do you think? Of course, this is a wide subject, and these are just some examples. So, do you know any other designer or collection inspired by surrealism? Share it in the comments and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!